Good afternoon, students. In today's video, we are going to see one problem in FSK. FSK is one of the digital modulation technique, a frequency shift key. Here, in this technique, in this digital modulation technique, the input signals is a pulses. It is what is the modulating signal we are taken is just a pulses of 0 or 1. So the 0 and 1 pulses, a square waveform, we take as a modulating signal. So the carrier signal is taken as a continuous analog signal with constant amplitude and frequency. So what is the operation of frequency shift keying means the frequency is shifted whenever the data is converted from 1 to 0 or 0 to 1. Okay, whenever the space value, that is the mark value, mark is 1 and space means 0. Whenever the mark changes to space, whenever the 0 comes, then only we are having a frequency shifting. So in the modulated signal. So next in this problem, determine a peak frequency deviation, minimum bandwidth and baud rate of a FSK signal of with a mark frequency. Mark frequency is the frequency of the signal when the modulating signal is has a logic 1, and the space frequency means whenever whenever the modulating signal goes in 0. So logic 1 means mark, logic 0 means space. So they are given as separate frequencies and also bit rate. So we all know what is mean by bit rate and baud rate. Number of signals transmitted per second or number of shifting changes shift from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0 within a signal is called as a baud rate, and bit rate is number of bits transmitted per second. The baud rate is represented in terms of bit rate and number of signals, number of bits we are using for the bit rate. So first FM. FM is the mark frequency. Mark frequency is the frequency we obtain at the modulating signal whenever the logic is 1 and its frequency is 49 Hz. And FS is the space frequency, is the frequency of the modulated signal whenever the modulating signal has a logic 0. And FB is the bit rate. What is the formula for peak frequency deviation? Del F is equal to FM minus FS divided by 2. So while you are substituting directly 49 kilohertz minus 51 kilohertz, since we are using modulus, minus is not an issue. 1 kilohertz we are obtaining. And then minimum bandwidth. So minimum bandwidth is represented in terms of 2 into del F plus FB. In general, what is mean by bandwidth? Bandwidth is the difference between upper cutoff frequency minus lower cutoff frequency. In this equation, from the general equation of FSK, higher cutoff frequency is Fs plus Fb and lower cutoff frequency is Fm minus Fb. So while you are solving this bandwidth equation, we are getting 2 into del F plus Fb. This is we are using here. Okay, so del F is the frequency deviation. So which we calculated from this formula, we are substituting here and we are obtaining 6 kilohertz per second. So I already told you baud rate is represented in terms of bit rate by number of bits we are using. So here each and every symbol is represented by 1 bit only, either 0 or 1. So a signal from changes from 0 to 1 or 1 to 0, we are represented in terms of 1 only. So we are taking as n is equal to 1. If you are taking n is equal to 1, then automatically the baud rate is equal to bit rate. So the baud rate is equal to bit rate we are obtaining. Thank you, students.